check this out. Let me know if this is a good sign. I had decided to replace some retainers from the advice of my friend. So in the process of doing so, you can hear that there is a leak when I was doing the valve spring retainers on cylinder 3. Why is there a leak? Well, we're pretty sure it is the very nasty cylinder head gaskets that I'll show you right here that have been rusted out. Not only to find that out, but they've also been replaced because they are a graphite style. And being a graphite style, well, it's just not the most desired head gasket. So we got some work ahead of us. So Greg and I already tore the motor down. So I'll go over that here in just a second with you guys. We've got some parts ordered. So I wanted to get a video out there to you guys because it's been a little bit, and looks like it's going to take a little bit to get some parts in. So lifters are on national back order, but I think I got some coming. I'm not sure. They haven't been shipped yet, but they said they had them, so we'll find out. But definitely going to be doing some upgrades for the Dakota. We thought maybe the head was bad or cracked or something, and then I don't think really that's the case anymore. Kind of looks like the motor sat for a while with some really nasty coolant in it before I wound up pulling it out of the car it was in, and so forth. So we've got some stuff to fix. So on this video, I'm just going to go over us tearing down and kind of showing you what we found. And then I'm going to replace the valve springs on a new set of cylinder heads that I bought. So before I show you guys tearing down the motor real quick, and what heads we bought, got to do a little shameless plug for you. So check this out. We got some new t-shirts. We got the Barn Find Nova finally on a shirt. A couple people have been asking for it, so I figured it was time to go ahead and get that done. It comes in this dark heather gray, and it actually comes in a light gray as well. I haven't looked at the light gray, but it's a really nice shirt with the Racer X logo on the front. And then we also got a shirt for the Sonoma GT. This is shown here is actually in gray. We're offering the t-shirt in like a navy blue, which you can see here. It looks a lot better than the gray, so we decided to not go with the gray on this because the truck came out a little pink on the gray shirt. So it also has the Racer X logo on the front. They're up on our website at racerxgarage.com. Just click on the store link when you get there. And I'll also put a direct link to our store in the video. So with that said, thanks for the time to allot for our shameless plug. And let's get down to tearing the Dakota apart. Yeah, there's not much to say other than we gotta get those heads off. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull the fuel rails off, intake manifold, kind of go after it. So here we go.
The outside inners. Oh, that was easy.
Well, about an hour's worth of work.
That was actually really good.
We confirmed We have a 5.3. I think. It's got the crosses on it. Oh, that's good. Alright, we'll show you guys what's going on here in a second. Greg's about to get that other head off. He's got one more bolt to pull out. We'll get it.
Fell on the ground.
That's all we need to hear is that.
Whenever you got it.
I think these head gaskets were just bad. I'm still going to replace the heads. But...
Might as well. I mean, shit's already off. You weren't burning anything.
That head shouldn't have a problem.
I got it.
While he's doing that, let me show you all something. If you're running Terminator X, they tell you to put the grounds in the back of the heads. And that is a big deal. If you don't do that and you wonder why you don't have spark, that's because the head's not grounded. That's usually the main culprit. So he's gonna pull that out real quick. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at here. I think, see there's a high spot there. I think these, and there's a high spot there. I think these head gaskets
Just for shit?
have just been crap. I'm not 100% sure, but these have been eaten away by corrosion. I don't know if they're supposed to be all the way open like this or just the 3 holes here. But this is the, is this the block side? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the block side. Just so much corrosion on these head gaskets. I'm just not sure. This could have been a point. That could have been a point. I don't have a definitive answer, which doesn't make me extremely happy. But
Gotta do some reading up.
yeah,
Post some pictures.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. But we did get the thing torn down pretty quick. And everybody is like, why did you LS swap your Dakota? Well, we just tore the whole thing down to block in an hour with hand tools. We didn't even use we didn't even use what do you call it? Impacts, UGGAs, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know, we're gonna find out. So pull off this other head gasket, see if it looks as bad, and if it does,
Yeah, it's got the same.
we might be onto something.
I don't know if that's...
Let's go over what I think happened here. I reached out to a couple friends to help me look at the head gaskets, and it looks like they are the failure point. First of all, down in here where these water jackets are all eaten out, they're actually only supposed to be little dots like this. So this is one of the bad head gaskets that's graphite that was on the motor, and this is my brand new MLS multi-layer steel head gasket that's going to be going on the motor. If you look here, there's just little holes in a couple of these places where the water travels through. They're kind of a restrictor. So these gaskets have had nasty water, rusty water, just kind of eaten on them for a long time. Probably contaminated coolant, and the motor just probably hasn't had coolant in it for a very long time. And I didn't even put coolant in it because I race it at the track, and if you have a coolant spill at the track, it's really greasy and it's kind of a pain to clean up, so I didn't do that. So needless to say, we got a lot of cleaning to do. And this is the other head gasket. It's the same story. It shouldn't be cut out like this. This is not the desired way. But what we did find out, and I don't know if I can even find it again, is I had a buddy look over these head gaskets. And there were some raised areas that caused some concern. But there's also an area which I just don't remember where it's at, and it's real hard to see. But anyway, there's on cylinder 3, the same cylinder, we've seen some of the material clean out and basically a real smooth area. I'm sorry guys, I just don't see it right now. I don't remember where it's at. And I'm sorry, it's been a couple days since I went over it. Oh, here it is. It's on this one right here. So you have a really smooth area right here where the gasket material is gone. So we're pretty sure it was leaping from this one over to this one, pressurizing the coolant system. So it's really, really hard to see on the camera. You'll just have to take my word for it. But got the new head gaskets in, and you can see that they're much nicer head gasket. It should really help fix this issue, especially with the new heads and everything else. Anyway, so that's a lowdown on what we think happened. And these graphite head gaskets are just going to go in the trash because that's where they belong in the first place. Alright, so what I have here is the old cylinder head that we pulled off. And these are a casting number 862. And they're a decent head, stock 5.3 head. They've got smaller valves, and actually have a little bit of a higher compression ratio than the heads I'm going to be putting on it. However, the heads I'm putting on this motor flow a whole lot better. They're the same things as the casting number 243s, but these are what's called 799s. There's very, very minimal difference between the two, but there's a lot of difference between the 799 head that I'm going to be putting on it and the 862 that's coming off of it. Again, I think these heads are okay. I'm actually debating bringing these with me on Drag Week in case something goes wrong, because you just never know. But I'm going to go ahead and disassemble these, because these are the Brian Tooley Racing dual 660 springs with the titanium retainers. And I actually got to try to get the valve seals off without hurting them. So, and then I'll show you guys how to install new valve springs on a cylinder head when it's not on the car. So here is our refurbished 799 cylinder head. And these cylinder heads, you can see the 799 casting here. It's the same thing as a 243 cylinder head with just like minimal differences, because I think really the only differences is like the 243s or what came on Z06 Corvettes and some other F bodies and stuff down the line. But they have like these special hollow valves and things like that. And these being truck heads, 799 heads, they probably did not come that way. But literally that's kind of the only difference. The ports are the same, the valve sizes are the same. The casting's just done in a different place. At least that's my understanding of it. But these things have been like hot tanked. They're in really good shape. They look brand new. And I bought them really cheap. I bought them for 250 bucks, which was a deal. I think one of them had a little mar on the edge, and I'll show you guys that later on down the road. But pretty darn good deal used. And so I'm gonna take this apart. I'm gonna show you guys just the process of changing out these valve springs while the head is not on the engine, which is a lot easier than it is when it's in the engine bay and you have to put the air on things. But I will admit, if it wasn't for me doing that before, I wouldn't have known that there was a problem with the head gasket. So first thing I'm gonna do is pull all these rockers off. It's an 8mm bolt. Pretty easy just to grab it all and they come off. Whoever sent them must have marked them when they were done with them. That's why there's blue stuff on the heads. That comes off. I'm just gonna actually put these over here. They look in fantastic shape. So, all right, so now I have the head with just the springs. And I'm going to take this folded up rag and I'm gonna put it under the valves. And then I'm gonna put it back down. The reason for that is so that these don't move when I compress them. If that doesn't make sense, it will in a minute. This is my valve spring compressor. I got it from Brian Tooley Racing. It's bluegrassperformance.com. I don't remember what it costs, but let me show you guys how it works. You take this aluminum spacer, you put it to where the rocker arms bolt down. This screw, you screw it all the way through, and this thing here presses the valves down. It's just a 1/2 inch bolt. So I'm going to bolt it down. Comes with 2 bolts. One goes there. One goes there. So it's bolting where the rocker studs bolt. And you just run them down. They don't have to be very tight. And then this right here, I'm gonna run this. This is the tool, the washer, and then the nut. And I'm just gonna run this down all the way. All right, so there's compression on it now. It tells you not to use an impact because it's hard on everything. And so you're just gonna tighten them down until the keepers fall over. Let me show you a close-up of that. All right, so this valve is compressed. This is the valve. These are the keepers. And in order to get those keepers out, I just take this magnet, pull them out. I dropped one down there. I'll have to go find it. Anyway, yeah, I'll find that one, but you just pull those keepers out just like that. Be very careful with them. You don't want to lose them if you're reusing the stock valve springs, which you're probably not if you're doing this. And I keep them for a backup as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to back off this spring. You can see the springs are coming with it. It's really not rocket science. Once we're done here, I'm going to pull the bolts out. And then I'm going to pull my tool off. You can leave this here, it's not gonna hurt anything. With those keepers off, valve springs come straight up. I don't know if these are stock valve springs or what, but they're branded. So there's part 1. Now, we need to pull these valve seals off. And fortunately, there's really only one way to do that. Check that out. The whole thing came off. Wow. These valves are longer. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. We'll find out. Alright, let me pull this one off. So, this is a valve seal, and I think they call this a seat. Maybe it's not a seat. I forgot what they call it. A liner, I think is what it's called. In one. So let me pause before I go too much further, because I need to see if it's all compatible. I confirmed with my buddy that these are specific for these beehive springs, so they keep them in line there. So they're a locator and valve spring in one, and they're specific for these, which is fine for us because we're not using those. So let's get started on the installation portion of this. And I've got some cool little things here. First things first is we're going to take our locators, and these come in like a cam kit if you buy a cam kit, or you can probably buy your own locators. I'm just going to clean them off because they were on the other heads that I had, and they simply just go over, and I'll show you, and down. So this one doesn't have one, this one has it located. Anyway, part one done. Then take a valve seal, put it over the top, and then I've got this nifty little tool that again I got from Brian Tooley Racing when I got my cam kit, but I'm sure these probably exist elsewhere. But this is just an eye hook, literally like an eye hook that you would use for just about anything. It screws into the head to where the rocker studs go. Then this little tool fits over the valve spring and the valve seal. And then you just take something round, you go through the eyelet there, bring it in for you. And then all I'm going to do is use it as a fulcrum to push down. Boom, valve seals installed. All right, I'll do it again in case you guys need a different view. Locator, let me clean it off. There we go. Clean off the locator. Nice and clean. Over the valve to the, I don't know what you want to call it, shoulder. Valve seal over the valve. I'm going to pull this out and put it in the next one. So not too hard. Tool slips over the valve seal and the valve. And I've just been using an extension, which I don't know where I put it. So I'll just use this for now. This is just a pry bar in through there, and then just pry down. It's that easy. And it puts it down nice and straight and tight on the valve, so we don't have an issue with them. So that's fantastic. Now on to installing the valve springs. So this is kind of the same thing we did to remove them in reverse. So let me pull my tool out of here. And these usually come kind of separate. So you have the smaller valve spring inside the bigger valve spring. Put it down over the valve and the retainer on top with the sharp edge against the spring. So there's one and there's two. And now we get our tool, aluminum spacer. Our tool, make sure you back this nut off some. Bolt it down into the rockers. And they make all kinds of different tools for these. And most of you guys have probably already know how to do this whole process, so you're probably not that interested anyway. But I'm going to continue on. All right, we're going to run this down now. And you're going to want to just kind of watch them to make sure they go down as straight as possible. All right, we're going to run these down. And it's just compressing them. I'm going to try to get them over the springs as centered as possible. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but you'll see the valve spring come through the top of the spring. And you want to get it to where you can see the little little line in the valve there. And these are the black keepers that came with my cam kit. I'm going to put it down in the hole. There you go. Just be very careful to make sure that both the skinny end of these go down into the recess. And I'll show you all that in just a second. It's kind of hard to see, but I got both keepers on here and here. They're inside the little hole there. And now I'm just gonna carefully back off this spring. And the keepers should do their job. Fantastic. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Bingo. So, new keepers are in. Valves are flat. And yeah, now we just got to do it 6 more times and do it to the other head. So let me knock that out, and then I'll do the other head, and I'll get back to you. Had a little bit of problem with the last valve seal, but I got it to work. Just took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but the head is all done and pretty with the new valve springs on it. It's good to go. This thing has been surfaced, and you know, it was put on a motor for like a very short period of time and then took back off. Not sure why. Everything looks good on the head. They told me it was a warranty motor and they had something wrong with it, but it wasn't in the heads. So I got a pretty good deal on these again, $7.99, and now just waiting on parts. So I've got a few things coming, and with this problem of the head gasket is leading into maybe making the Dakota run a little bit better. So with a better set of heads on it, I've got exhaust that we're changing on it, and I can't wait to show you guys that. And good lifters, good head gaskets, and so forth. The motor just being a little bit more fresh is a good thing. You know, it should make a little bit more power, and I don't know. I'm excited to see how it runs. But I'm glad I found it before it got too bad and left me on the side of the road or torched the block or something else like that, or overheated. And you know, sometimes these things happen. So Gonna get back to it, wait on these parts, and then you'll see like part 2, maybe part 3, depends on how long it takes to get the engine back together. A little reminder again of our new t-shirts that are on the website, so make sure you check it out, racerxgarage.com, or there will be a direct link to our store in this video description. So head over there, grab a t-shirt if you want to support the channel. Right now, buying t-shirts and stickers are the only way that this channel is going to get support from anybody. So if you want to help support the Nova project, the Dakota project, or Craig's Corvette project, it's a great way to do it. So plus they look pretty cool. I thought the designs came out pretty well, if I do say so myself. And so check that out. I try not to say this too much, but if you're not subscribed, subscribe. We've got about 730 subscribers now, so we're on our way to that magical number of 1,000. So if you enjoy this stuff, subscribe. And I promise to not say this in every single video. I promise to not promote the t-shirts in every single video, because I know that stuff can get a little annoying. But I can't wait till the parts come in and get back after it. So until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.